The Midday Show, live on QBS.
Today's topic is one that I'm really interested in talking about. Now, it's not something that I've experienced just yet. I mean, I hope I don't, but sometimes just things happens, right? Like, you know, sometimes there's things that sneak up on us in life, and one of those things is the midlife crisis. It's that mysterious phase where sports cars start looking a little too tempting, career changes suddenly feel urgent, and you can't help but wonder, did I miss the memo on life's big milestones? Why do we feel so much pressure to hit certain goals, like owning a house, having kids, or even landing that dream job, all by a specific age? It's like there's this invisible timeline that we're all kind of racing against. And sometimes we don't even realize we're racing against it because, like I said, the midlife crisis tends to sneak up on us. So stick around, join the conversation, because we'll be joined by a guest expert as we unpack the myths, the pressures, and maybe even share a few laughs while we're navigating midlife and learning to let go of all of those shoulds. So here are some facts about the quote-unquote midlife crisis. Now, while popular culture dramatizes it, research suggests that, midlife crises aren't inevitable. A study by the American Psychological Association found that only about 10 to 20% of adults report experiencing a true midlife crisis. Also, developmental psychologists like Erik Erikson described midlife crisis as a stage of generativity versus stagnation, where people start seeking purpose and want to give back or create something meaningful, not necessarily panic. There's also, several global studies, including by economists like David Blanchflower, that show happiness tends to dip in midlife, often forming a U-shape. The lowest point is typically between the ages of 45 and 50, after which well-being begins to rise again. And also, these are things you should know. There are common stressors that can lead to a midlife reevaluation, which includes, aging parents or loss of a loved one, health issues, career stagnation or burnout, and empty nest syndrome. And to guide us through this important topic, I'm joined by a professional life coach and mentor who's worked with many people to navigate their own life path, Stefan Lindberg-Jones. Welcome to the show, Stefan.
Thank you, Josie. Nice to be here.
I said that right.
Yes, you did.
Yes. Stefan Lindberg-Jones. Okay.
Yes.
It's quite a mouthful. And that's coming from a Qatari.
Yes. No, exactly.
Okay, so to start us off, what exactly is a midlife crisis? And is it real or is it more of a social concept?
Yeah, I love it. I love, social concept, really. It's, when you think of crisis, why do we call it midlife crisis? When you think of crisis, the only time that we hear about crisis is on the news.
Right.
When things aren't going the normal way. And the reason why we're calling it a midlife crisis is because now people are noticing that someone isn't acting their normal self. Mm-hmm. Or we're coming to midlife and we're feeling that things need to change, that, I can't carry on in the normal way.
Right.
So midlife, and also I don't think, why is it related to midlife? All right, there are certain reasons why it's midlife, and we go into that, but generally it can be any time of your life that you will have a revelation of, am I doing the thing that I really, really want to do? Is there something that I should be doing that,
I've had it at 16. I've had it at 25.
Exactly.
I've had a quarter life crisis for sure.
Exactly. So
I was at a point in my life where I'm like, I'm not doing anything I set out for myself to do, and I felt absolutely terrible. And it doesn't help that I'm already bipolar.
Ah, okay. All right. That's another conversation. That's another subject.
Yeah, but like that on top, like a mental condition on top of like those feelings of, I don't have a purpose. I don't know why I'm here. I questioned myself a lot. What is the reason I'm here? And I couldn't grasp it.
Interesting. And I'm just curious, on this journey of yours, how did you start out? Was it on your own accord? It's everything that you did in life at the beginning was your decisions, or did it come from family, community? You know, what the expectation for you?
It's a mix of both.
See, that's what I find that when I'm talking to my clients is the fact that, you know, they didn't get to decide what they wanted to study. And, you know, it was an expectation because they were top of their class and they had to, you know, and it was expected, oh, well, you've got to become a doctor, you've got to be an engineer. And because they were top of the class, they thought, yeah, all right, you know, how hard
Easy
can
enough.
it be? How hard can it be? And it was just, and they run with that. But if you think about it, it's all in the head.
It is.
It doesn't come from the heart.
No.
And that's what I always try and tell people is that, you know, and I call it like autopilot mode. Your parents are programming you to literally run with this safe, you know, kind of autopilot programming.
Yes.
And it can only get you so far.
It can, yeah. Until you run out of steam.
Until you run out of steam, because I always imagine a little head with little legs pulling this body along, because nothing's coming from the heart.
For sure.
Yeah, and that's where the wake-up call is, because I have a lot of students that are studying at university and they reach burnout just before finishing. And it's all because...
Me too. I was this close to dropping out. You see the small space between my fingernails? That close. I really reached that point, and I spoke to my mom about it, and I was like, I want to drop out. I'm not happy. Like, that's when my mental health was at its lowest, and I was like, I'm not happy.
And were you doing a course that you wanted to do in the first place? Nah, see, look. Yeah.
Yes and no. Originally, I wanted to go into journalism, but then my brother scared me out of it.
See?
But looking back at my university experience, I just don't think university and school in general was for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was never good at it. You know, university, I got better at it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was for me. And I think that's what really put me in like a crisis mode, because I was like, what am I doing?
Exactly. You were running from your head and your
Yeah.
heart was going, no, there's something else. There's something else. But your head
Right.
wasn't listening until it got to a point where the head was like, oh, well, I've tried everything. And the heart was going, look, I told you so. There's something else.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people feel that way, but we don't realize it until we hit the point where we're breaking down, crying, not knowing why we're crying, what's wrong, why we're having this like meltdown. But like every step of the way, we question ourselves.
But this is it. This is what I'm talking about, autopilot mode. If you think about it in the essence of when you're born, no one gives your parents a manual to say, congratulations, here's your child. This is how they're going to think. This is what their interests are going to be.
This is the step-by-step play of their life.
Absolutely. They haven't got a clue. And they have to literally impart the knowledge that they learned from life and from their parents. And they did the best they could. And you're taught by your parents, your community, your school, and the experiences that you had as a child.
Yes.
And then you ran with it in your head. That was your autopilot programming. And, you know, you think when you were programmed, that's like 20 or 30 years ago. You think that how life has changed so much, technology, everything. And you're running on an autopilot program that was programmed 20 or 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. You wonder if it's going to deal with the situations that you have to deal with today?
Definitely not.
No,
not at all. Not even my mom was prepared for the situations that I was put in.
No, exactly.
I was the first one of my siblings to tell her I want to drop out. I mean, of course I didn't. I made it to the finish line, thankfully, and I'm very grateful for that.
How did you do that? I'm just curious. How did you manage to get to that? Because I have a lot of students that can't get to it, and I have to basically let them know that, look, you can't just look at the finish line, because that's not coming from your heart. You got to think of past that. You've got to create a vision. You've got to create a goal that's going to get you past that finish line. And then when we focus on, all right, this is what your head says, this is what your expectations are from your parents, from, you know, family. Mm-hmm. But think about after that. Think about, you got that qualification, now see where your heart can be included in that vision going forward after that. And once you do that, once you've lit something in the heart, they're there.
Yeah, it's there.
It's there. Because suddenly the energy's flowing from head to toe rather than just all going into your head.
For me personally, I don't know actually. When that conversation happened, so this was like taking back to 2018, when that conversation happened with my mom, right? My mom, thankfully, despite being an Asian mother, you know how they can be. She was so supportive. She was like, look, I'm not going to force you to finish. If that's what you truly want to do, I will support you. No matter what anybody says, I will support you. But she was like, please do think about it. You're in your last year. You've got a few months left. Just think about it. And if you still want to do it, I'll support you. And I was like, I can't think right now. Like, there was so much going on in my mind. I was like, I can't think. So I told her, look, what I'm going to do is I kind of ran away for 2 weeks to go see, like, just explore. Because I was living in the UK. To just explore, see my friends, calm down a little bit. So I told her, please don't message me until I'm ready to message you. Until you receive a message from me, don't message me. And please tell my siblings not to do the same, not to reach out, because I need time. I was like, I feel like I'm way in over my head and I need time.
That's beautiful. You were basically looking for space. You needed space to breathe.
I did.
Space to think.
And I'm very lucky that I have a very supportive family, and they did exactly that. They gave me the space. At that time, I was even because I was having breakdowns in uni, I was having panic attacks. So even my course leader was very supportive. I told him, look, I only had one class a week at that time. So I was like, look, I know it's the dissertation class where it's very important, but I was like, give me some time. I will, send you updates on my work, but like, I need to go. So I did. I took a break for 2 weeks. I went to London because I was in Sunderland. So I went to London.
Sunderland, London. Okay, let's not go there.
I went to London. I had a few days by myself, had a few days with my friends, went to their hometowns, chilled out, and then I came back and I was like, no, I need to finish. I started it. I need to finish it, because otherwise I just wasted my time. I wasted my mom's time, her effort, her money. I wasted my money, my effort. Like, I was like, I need to finish.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to rebalance, reground myself, and find out where can I go from here. So I was like, I was studying film at the time.
Okay.
And the reason I wanted to go into media is because I loved writing stories. And I was writing a script for my dissertation. So I was like, okay, let's find that love for stories all over again.
There you go. You found your heart. You found that spark that literally carried you over the finish line.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
beautiful.
No, it did.
Yeah.
It really did. But yeah, that's how I kind of like navigated through that crisis at the time.
Okay.
But we're not here to talk about me.
Oh, no, we can carry on. That's fine. No, but that's beautiful. And also, it's... Look, at the end of the day, parents want the best for us.
Of course.
And they, the way they were programmed, it's basically they're showing up and giving what they know best.
Of course, yeah.
Because and you run with it. And there's a lot of people that do run with it. They go through university, they find a job, and it is all about monetary value. It's all about security. But it's not coming from the heart.
Yeah.
And I think that leads into the whole midlife crisis.
Yeah. And I think, sometimes with those people, it leads to resentment, right?
Yeah.
In their life, like in general. It starts off with, I resent my parents for making me do this. And then they start resenting the rest of their family, their partners, their kids. Like, they're not happy in life. And I think, like, what I want them to understand is your parents had their own autopilot program.
Absolutely.
That they ran with.
Yeah.
So they're like, this worked for me. It should work for my child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Absolutely.
Back to the questions. Are there certain types of people who are more likely to go through a midlife crisis? And what kind of patterns or personalities tend to feel it the most? I feel like it's type A personalities, no? Those that are like, everything needs to be perfect. It needs to all go to plan.
No, you get those. But also I've had a lot of clients that are... have given everything to everyone else. They've given their all to the family, their friends. They've always showed up, for their husbands, or wives, and then they don't get anything back in return. And then they're always looking back at what could have been, what have I missed out, the missed opportunities. And, some take drastic action by getting divorced, and then they're like, oh, well, yeah. And then they don't get the support around them because... Right. everyone's looking at them going, midlife crisis, why has she done that? But actually she wants to, or he wants to find herself and look at, I want something for me. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of people in that situation where they realize that, look, I'm giving everything to everyone else, but I'm not looking after me. And it's those, I don't call it a midlife crisis, I call it a midlife awakening.
I like that.
Awakening.
It's a more positive spin.
Absolutely. That's when you're curious about, why am I giving everything to everyone else? And I'm feeling like I don't, my health is bad. I'm giving everything else to everyone, and I'm not feeling it anymore. Where am I in all this? And then they start self-reflecting. They start being curious about who they are. All right, they look at how they were, but you can't keep on looking backwards because we're having to move forward. So we have to do some self-reflection and basically learn from everything that's happened in the past and how we're going to take all that and move forward and to get to know ourselves. A lot of us don't know who we are. Yeah.
That's for sure. No, yeah.
A lot of us, as I say, are in autopilot and are just taking things for granted that, and ego as well. Let's not forget about the big ego. Ego pulls us along and is basically comparing ourselves to everyone else and what people tell us what we are, then we take it on board and we run with it. But actually that isn't who you truly are. And when we get to the midlife, generally, we start questioning everything. And sometimes ego isn't there to help, especially if we find ourselves in the deep, dark pits of depression. Mm-hmm. Ego will not help you. Ego will not be found. So you have to dig deeper. And that's where you get to know yourself and what's truly coming from the heart. And that's what I help people find their true self. And I always say, look, if you really want to start taking control of your life, you have to understand that, there are simple steps to be taken. And I learned this when I was in the deep, dark hole of depression during COVID, was that set up a routine, get to, be strict with yourself, but have a morning routine where you look after yourself, whether it's, and sleep. Sleep is so important.
A lot of people ignore sleep. I'm not one of them, thankfully.
Isn't it amazing? It's funny how people do that. And I wonder if it's because as a child we were told by our parents, no, you have to go to bed by this time. Or some parents in this region don't care. It's just like when you're tired, you just fall asleep. Mm-hmm. But it is so important. They've done so much research now, and it's about the body clock and about the mind and the brain detoxing during the night. It needs, during the day, it builds up so much toxins that it needs to detox during the night, and it needs a good 7 hours to detox.
Right.
So I always ask my clients, what's your sleep pattern like? And generally it's, I go to bed at 12, I go to bed at 1. And it's just like, well, let's bring it forward till about 9 or 10. And then
You sound like my therapist.
Well, this is it.
But it's very true. It is very, very true.
You need to, when you get the body clock aligned and you get a good 7 hours sleep, you can be guaranteed how you're going to wake up every morning. Yeah. When you're messing around with the body clock and going to bed late, you're literally shaking the body clock, and you can wake up really your head is full of fog. You can't think clearly. You're sluggish, and it doesn't feel like you've had 7 hours sleep. No. It feels like you've only had 50% sleep. Mm-hmm. So with the body clock being aligned and having 7 hours, I can guarantee that you'll be waking up with 100% and feeling ready to go. So that's the first thing. I said, look, that's the first thing that you need to take control of your life.
Routine and sleep.
First, routine and sleep. And then when you wake up, especially in this region, morning prayer.
Yeah.
But doing morning prayer, not just out of habit. Morning prayer, really focusing on the words.
Because the intention and the words.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because why I say this is because when you do that, you'll notice this little voice in your head complaining. Because generally you've done it out of habit. And I want you to focus on that voice because I want you to be focusing on the words. So when you focus on the words, you'll hear this little voice complaining or saying, oh, what are we going to have for lunch today? Or what did you do yesterday? Or who do you need to get in contact with? And I say, be the observer. That voice is not you. That's your autopilot. That's your programming from your parents, from your school, from the experiences in life. You are the one that's in control now. and you're saying, no, I need to really focus on these words. These words are important. This is where I am in the moment. And then you can be in control. You're the observer, and then you be in control. You be the master of that voice. Because a lot of us react to the voice. A lot of us obey the voice. A lot of us say it without any question. But now that you've got sleep and you're fully charged, you can question this voice and say, why are you saying that? Because a lot of the time, it's the one that tells us, oh, you're no good. Oh, why did you do this? This is rubbish. Mm-hmm. So now we are going to be the master and say, well, why are you saying that? What is the reason? How is that helping me now?
Right.
Why are you concerned about what's going to happen in 2 weeks' time? Because all I've got control over is now and tomorrow, how I go into tomorrow, but not in the future. I can't move into the future, and I can't go back in time. So let's just focus on the here and the now. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is exercise, movement of the body. Let's get the energy flowing from head to toe. A lot of us don't bother. And this is kind of fine-tuning you to take on the rest of the day. You know, it's like if you're a musician and you go up on stage.
Right.
You're not going to go just up on stage without fine-tuning that instrument.
Right, without rehearsal as well.
Absolutely. You are the instrument. So fine-tune yourself before you get up on stage, before you go out the front door. Don't look at your social media. Don't let anyone else come into your life. Literally, you fine-tune yourself, and then you're ready to take on the day. So exercise is the movement of the body. And your mind will play games with you because it'll go, oh, exercise, oh, that's boring. Oh,
it doesn't have to be like, extraneous
No.
exercise. It can just be stretching.
Stretching, going for a walk for half an hour. Just any form of exercise, movement of the body for half an hour. And vary it, because the mind will play games with you. It will say, oh, that's a bit boring. Oh, look, you haven't lost any weight. Why are you doing this for the last 2 weeks? It's not about how you look.
It's like you're in my head.
It's
Stefan.
not how you look, it's how you feel. Tune into how you feel, because then you will carry on doing it every single day. Those three things, you're looking after mind, body, and soul.
Why do we put so much weight to achieve milestones by a certain age? And how does that kind of pressure feed into the emotional experience of a midlife crisis when those timelines don't go as planned?
I get that even with students that don't feel that they're achieving like their peers, or fellow students that are doing seem to be achieving much more.
Right.
And I always say, look, you don't know what's going on. They might be achieving a lot now, but there's a long way to go on this life journey. So let's not panic. Let's take, the story about the hare and the tortoise. It's, the hare's running, and the tortoise taking its time. And who wins the race? It's the tortoise. It's not the hare.
Yes.
So, and also, I think the way it was in the past, we all had a job. There wasn't any uncertainty. Generally, people had jobs for life. Mm-hmm. And, there were certain things that you would do within that life. You would study, get your qualification, get your job. Generally, that job will be for life. And then also, oh, by the way, you're going to meet someone, you're going to get married, and you're going to have some children. And then you're going to retire at the age of whatever. And then retirement, and that's it. Life was a little bit simpler in the old days.
It was, yeah.
And that's kind of how we gauged everything else. Everyone kind of looked at each other. All right, some people would have, beautiful cars, big houses, etc., within that remit. But, it was very similar. But now, we really don't, there is so much. I've had 13 jobs. In my life. Wow. I've been married twice. So what am I going to gauge? Who am I going to gauge? Who am I going to compare with?
Right.
And I think it's the expectations of the parents. I think it's because I hear that a lot as well, that people come and, there's expectations from parents and family. Oh, you have to do well. A lot of people are supporting their families, working in this region. So there's a lot of pressure and expectations for them to better themselves and get better jobs. And I've had clients come on and basically say, look, I feel like I've let the family down. I was meant to come over here and have a great job. I was promised something that, it didn't happen. And now I feel like when I go home, I feel I will have to do the walk of shame sort of thing. But then it's just, I turn it around and say, yeah, but what have you learned on this journey? Take that, and when you go home, do what you really desire. Do something that you've learned along the way. Don't think that this is being a waste of time. So yeah, I think it's just peer pressure. It's expectations from community and family that generally is the expectations of hitting certain milestones during the way, and so our head as well, our programming.
Yeah,
that's what we're going on as well. We're literally not thinking about it, and we're just oh well, this is expected, this is what I should be doing, I should be hitting this, etc., and it's just not the case anymore.
It isn't.
No.
It isn't. And I feel like that kind of pressure it's gotten worse with social media.
Ooh.
Because that's where people gauge things now. This person has this family, they got married at this time, look at them getting brand ads and all these things, and here I am on my phone at home not doing a single thing.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel worse.
Yeah.
Social media, I have a love-hate relationship with it.
The only thing I do with social media is post. I don't look at it. I don't follow anyone because it is bad for the mental health. And I say to people, look, create filters. Don't allow the world to come into your life. When you turn that phone on, you're literally inviting the whole world to come into your life.
Yes.
And you are prone to, you will feel insecure. You will feel that you're not good enough and you don't know the story behind it. People are showing things, but you don't know the full story.
Right. I always love to remind our listeners, social media is fake. It's fake.
Well, apart from when I'm on there.
Yeah. But, most influencers, it's a curated image. And that's something we need to remind ourselves. This is a curated image. Like you said, it's not the full story.
Yeah.
And that helps you feel a lot better. Once you really digest it, it makes you feel better. Because you're I'm only seeing maybe even half of a fraction of their life. Half of a fraction,
absolutely.
It's not even a fraction.
No, and a lot of people are imitating a lot of other people, influencers. Right. So you just see the same thing again and again, just in a different package. And is it real?
For sure. Now, a lot of people feel anxious in midlife, not just because of unmet goals, but because they're getting older. And why is that such a tough feeling to face? I have a lot of, I think I'm the only one in my friend group who is not afraid to become a 30-year-old. I am so excited to be 30, right? I feel like the 20s, it's a social experiment.
Absolutely.
Kind of done with it.
Very good. Yeah.
I've been through too many experiments. It's been 7 years. I'm tired.
Yeah.
But the 20s is really a social experiment to find yourself, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And you're basically a baby adult. I'm a 7-year-old adult.
You hit the nail on the head.
Why do I have to have it all figured out in
absolutely.
my 20s?
You don't.
So I'm literally the only one in my friend group who is excited to be 30. And I feel for me, it's because I've come to terms with my situation, with the things going on around me, with the things that I've achieved and what I've not achieved, what I've yet to achieve. But a lot of people still have that anxiety around age, oh my God, I'm turning 40 tomorrow,
But isn't it funny? And it is society as well. I go back to the UK now and again, and I see that you can get a retirement apartment at the age of 50 or 55. And I think, hold on, I'm 56, and there's no way I'm ready to retire. And I think, society, community plays on it, the fact that, you're reaching this age, so you should be thinking about that. I have friends at the same age that are in that mindset, and you think they were programmed by their parents, and they have been watching their parents, they've been watching their friends of their parents, they reached certain milestones, so they associate that while they were growing up. Oh, well, uncle such and such reached this age and he was retired. My dad reached this age, so I should be doing this. And I followed that suit in a way. When I look back, I got married at the age of 28. My dad got married at the age of 28. But when I look back, I wasn't ready. A lot
of people aren't.
And then I turned into my dad. When I look back, I turned into my dad. I put the weight on. I sounded like him. And it was all that programming. It was all just watching him. Because if you think about it...
You're walking around with your hands behind your back.
Absolutely. I was wearing the dodgy jumpers and...
staring out the window, looking at the neighbors with your hands behind your back.
You know it. So,
I do it too.
So yeah, that's what we've been that's what we've been watching, and that's what is in our mind. It's not until something happens, and it was me going through a divorce that it literally woke me up, and I came from being my dad to finding my ego, unfortunately, and I ran with that in the second part of my life. But then the third part was when COVID came along, and then so I was literally experimenting. I didn't realize I was going by ego, but it was coming from my heart as well, the next step. And then during COVID, ego wasn't there, so I found my heart, and that's basically learning about who I truly was. And I think that's it. It's people need to really look at themselves, be the experiment, find out who they are, rather than what they've been told who they are.
I hear that. I really do. Honestly, I think it's also, I feel like it's also hard to accept that time is running, right? As you get older, time is like, you feel like time is running. It's running away from you. Yeah,
but is it running away from you because you're not in control? That's what I'm saying. If you're in autopilot, then yes, you're letting life dictate. You're not in control. But once you start getting to know who you are, time goes slower because now you're in the moment. When you're in autopilot, you're literally, life is passing you by because you're not in control. But when you are in control and you appreciate everything around you, you appreciate your family, your friends, you appreciate the possessions that you have, time goes slower. And then also you give back as well. When you reach midlife, you should be giving back your knowledge. You should be giving everything that you've learned up to now. I've had a lot of clients that have basically said, oh, I don't know what to do. I've reached the age of 50 and it's just like, hold on. You've done so much. Now's your time to give back. And there's such a big reward when you help other people, when you help youngsters, because really you've taken that journey. You've learned a lot about yourself and maybe your industry, etc., etc. So give back. There's so many youngsters that would love to hear your story.
Right. Can you share strategies to help individuals find renewed purpose during midlife?
Well, it goes back to my biological reset button, which I was talking to you about with the night, sleep, morning routine, and the exercise. Getting to know yourself, because give yourself space, because a lot of us just throw ourselves into life without thinking about it. And the morning is the beautiful time of the day where we can get up before anyone else and we can get to know who we are. Right. Lean into your feelings. A lot of us don't think about the feelings that pop up.
We don't acknowledge them at all.
Don't acknowledge them, or we react to them without questioning them. So in the morning, when you're giving yourself space, when you're talking to that little voice in your head, that you can lean into those feelings and be curious about where they're coming from. Visualize the first time that you felt that feeling. And then the more you do that, and also give that little version of yourself when she or he felt that feeling, give yourself love, give yourself appreciation, because you did the best you could at that time of your life with the limited tools that you had, with the limited knowledge that you had, and just say, look, I love you for who you were and I appreciate it, and look how far I've come. And then the more you do that, that feeling will disperse, because I always call the body a memory bank. All those feelings,
I like that,
you're storing those feelings. Where else are they going to be?
Yeah.
Anytime you're triggered, there's a feeling that will pop up. Right. And it's stored. That's why when you get older, you start having ailments. If you haven't looked at where these feelings are coming from, you might have a dodgy knee or a dodgy shoulder. That's a memory stored that you haven't bothered to look at. And that's why people aren't happy being in their own space, because they haven't bothered looking at where these feelings are hidden, because they feel that there's no space to be themselves.
Right. So give yourself a lot of grace.
Give yourself a lot of grace. Give yourself a lot of space. Give yourself a lot of love. and start learning about yourself. Be curious about who you are.
Midlife crisis, does it feel different for men and women? Is it gender-based?
No.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. No.
I've seen both men and women go through
Absolutely.
it.
All right. With men, it's maybe because of career, maybe because of ego. They've got to a point where, especially mainly men, where they're really career focused and they're running on ego. Ego can only get them so far. And also, ego's probably pulled them to a point where no one else is keeping up with them. And they've left the family, they've left everyone else behind. And they're focusing on a small percentage of their success, and it's just like it feels empty. So then they start questioning, oh, well, was this worth it? I'm feeling empty because no one's here to celebrate it with me because I've left them all behind.
Right.
So what was the... Oh, and then with women, generally is they've given their all to their family, and then the family starts, leaving home.
Empty nest syndrome.
Emptiness. They feel, and they've given everything to their husband, and they're not getting anything back because, I'm not needed anymore. So then they start questioning, well, what now? What do I do now? So that I always say, look, reflect back on what really got you excited before you went on this journey, and let's see how we can, revisit those things and see what we can get fired up inside you.
Okay. I mean, yeah, like I said, I've seen both men and women
Absolutely.
go through it. It might look different.
It will look different.
It will, yeah. And for example, men, right? That fancy sports car, suddenly it's there.
Yeah, but that's why I call the awakening. It's if you think about it, the kids are becoming more independent, and also we've probably got more cash in our pocket.
Yeah.
So then we're thinking, I've always wanted to have that flashy car. I've never had that opportunity because I've always had to have the 4x4 or the 7-seater car to fit all the family. Now, they're hardly here.
Yeah.
I don't have to. And that's why I find it weird that we call it midlife crisis, because when you're going through it, you don't feel it. I got myself a Harley at 50, and it was just like, because I've always wanted a motorbike, and why not? I've got some extra cash in my pocket. The kids don't miss me when I'm in the weekend, so why not? Enjoy it.
I love that. My dad got one at 40-ish.
Exactly.
But I like it because him and my mom did it together. It was a bonding experience for them. They both got their motorcycle licenses together.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, they're cool. They're cool parents.
They are.
I like
And it
your
was
parents.
really cool as a kid. They took us all the way to Al-Wakra.
Yeah.
To the shop where they were being taught how to ride the motorcycles, and me and my siblings would just watch them, and I was like, when I thought of driving, I didn't even think of getting a car at first. I was like, I want a motorcycle. I want to be like my mom. Like, that's so cool.
Hey, I never looked back. I got a motorbike when I was 16 or 17, and it was the best thing for me because you get more of a road sense.
Yeah.
You're not just looking at the car, you're looking at someone inside who's driving. Are they on their phone? You don't feel, because you're so vulnerable, you have to have a 360-degree vision.
Right.
You have to look at everything because something might pop out, which you're only on two wheels. So you've got to be oversensitive.
Right. For sure. No, for sure. How do I stop comparing my timeline to others when social media constantly reminds me of what I haven't achieved? And this is what we were saying. Social media is so bad for the mental health.
Big reminder, it's your life journey. You're not on anyone else's life journey. It's all about you. It's not about anyone else. It's your life journey. So just focus on where you're at, how you feel. Get to know you and focus on your life journey. Don't look at anyone else because you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You don't know what they're going through. What they show on social media is all, it's like in the old days when we were watching TV, it was a production. Social media, a lot of people are just doing it for production. They're making themselves look good just for that few seconds.
Right.
So don't be pulled into it. Just focus on where you're going, what you want out of life.
Right. And for me, an advice I would give to you is unfollow those pages that make you feel like you're not achieving enough.
Follow the ones that inspire. Follow the ones that are authentic.
Yes.
Yeah.
But all those that make you feel like, I'm at this age and I don't have a body like that, or, my hair doesn't look like that, or my kids don't act like that, or whatever. Anything that makes you feel like you're not enough or you haven't achieved enough, unfollow them. You don't need it.
100%.
You don't need it.
I never forget. My daughter follows a family in America, and they're all big smiles, and they're all looking like they're having fun all the time. And then they came out with a video and say, look, this is the real truth. We're having situations in the family. We're really struggling with the content.
Right.
And it was so refreshing to see that honesty, because all the time, all the content that they were producing was, look at us, we're fantastic. We're the family that you should be.
Yeah. But you know, a lot of those family channels are committing crimes, straight up crimes. like look up the 8 passengers. All I'm gonna say about that, they're committing crimes. It's crazy out here. So don't buy into all of that.
No, don't buy into it.
It's not good for you.
No.
You are enough. You're doing enough. You're doing the best you can with what you have.
Absolutely. And that's what I said before, is just be aware of what you're letting into your life, what you're letting. When you turn on the phone, you're letting the world come into your house. You're letting the world come into your bedroom. And, don't you want the best for you? Don't you want to be inspired by inspirational people that are living a true and full life, not an imitation world, not a material world? Go for something that is genuine. Look for those people that will inspire you, and you want to do good in the world.
Midlife crisis becomes heavier when kept silent. Find someone who listens without judging, which is Coach Stefan right here.
Absolutely. Or just find someone who's in your corner that can support you. I always say you can't do this life journey all by yourself. You have to have a good support network.
Right.
So, whether it's on social media, you can find people. If you hold your hand up and say, look, this is me, this is what I'm about, anyone on the similar sort of life journey that I am on, then please get in touch, or look at who is around in your community or your family that think the same way,
right,
or is supporting you.
At any stage in life, having that solid support system is extremely important, but especially when you hit the midlife, I feel like just to stop you from getting to that point, I feel like, honestly.
No, you're right.
At any point in life.
Any point in life.
Because if I didn't have my support system when I was having my quarter life crisis, I swear, honestly, I don't know what would have happened to me.
Exactly. No, I'm enjoying my part of my journey now, being a coach, because I've got some great people that I, was doing business with, and we've formed a great relationship moving forward, and we're there for each other. So It's been great.
Peer pressure, society pressure on not having midlife crisis when others have. They want us to react like them. How to overcome this?
Ah, that's a new one. So people want you to have a midlife crisis. People want you to think out of the box. People want you to question how far you've come in life.
Maybe.
Normally it's the other way around.
Yeah,
As I said, crisis means that you're stepping away from the norm, and that people are pointing the finger at you because you're not acting the way you've been acting. So, maybe that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Usually it's the other way around, where like you're having a midlife crisis and people are like, oh my God, she's crazy. She's losing her mind.
Absolutely. But if you've got that support that they want you to explore and question your journey up to now, then go for it.
Right. We have a shout out here. It says, hi Josie, can we have a shout out from Education City High School under Qatar Foundation? Today's topic about midlife crisis is amazing and we are learning a lot. Thank you for explaining all the bits of midlife crisis. You're very, very welcome. I'm not midlife. But I've mentioned multiple times, I've had a quarter life crisis.
Hey, it's not bad when you get here, so don't worry about it.
Honestly, no. It's, when you get through it, it's fine, right? Things happen in life. And I feel like all these experiences just make us more resilient, make us a better version of ourselves. I've made it a point in my life to no longer dwell and regret things.
Nice.
Because past is past.
No, because if you do, it's like you carrying a sack of rocks.
Yeah.
That resentment is you carrying all that weight, and it's not healthy for you. You need to be as light as possible. So you literally take the lessons that life has given you, you look at it, you analyze it, you take what you need from it, and then you move on. You don't put it in a rucksack on your back and carry it around. That's going to weigh you down. But can I just say, when you were saying that, life experiences, I've experienced depression twice. And I feel anyone that's suffering from depression, I feel it's a transition from one life journey to another life journey. It's for you to go through that transition, because life has basically said, no, you're going the wrong way. I need to pull you. So it's not going to be pleasant, whatever you've experienced, to get you into that depression, but it is a transition. It's for you to be learning about yourself and transitioning to a new life journey.
What is one piece of advice that you would like to give to someone going through or just a crisis? Let's take out the midlife. Going through a life crisis right now, what would you want them to hold on to?
A life awakening.
Life awakening.
But not a crisis. Let's leave the crisis out. A crisis is just people looking in that you've changed from the norm, and you're looking at how you can improve yourself, or how did I get here? So you're questioning things and you're testing the water and buying that sports car or buying the motorbike. But at the end of the day, if you're on that journey, if you find yourself in that position, is to get to know yourself, and that's going back to that human biological reset button, taking control of your life. And it all starts with sleep. If you're not energized in the morning, if you're not taking care of yourself, then how do you think you're going to move forward in the rest of your life? Because if you have reached midlife, you got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of that body of yours. Your health, your fitness, and your mental health.
Right.
There's a lot of people that don't take care of that, and surprise, surprise, there's some diseases that affect that mental state of yours and your physical state. Things start to fall apart. So let's take control of our lives. Let's be responsible. Let's be the experiment. Let's lean into those feelings and focus on sleep. Focus on talking to that little voice in your head, which isn't you. Understand that little voice in your head is not you. That deeper voice that comes from your heart. And do some exercise every single day. But that little voice in your head says, oh, exercise, I get sweaty and stuff like that, I can't do it, or I can't push weights. No, just show up, be in the moment, go for a walk, do a bit of stretching, vary it every single day, because the voice in your head will get bored and say, oh look, it's getting boring, we're doing the same exercise every day. No, vary it, do a bit of stretching, do a bit of walking, do a bit of cycling, swimming. Vary it, entertain yourself, but do it in your own speed, your own capabilities. Let's not push it too hard, because the mind will play games with you and say, oh look, you pushed it too hard, let's give up.
Yeah, no, I love that. Honestly, thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you for having me.
This has been, I think, one of our best episodes so far.
Oh, you're just saying that.
No, honestly, the flow, the conversation, what you have to say, I've honestly loved it. I really want to bring you back on the show.
I'll come back anytime.
Thank you so much, Coach, for
you.
being here.